So I'm going to jump over to preeminence.
Okay.
Because it involves trust, and that's so critical to our audience, to advisors, insurance agents.
Absolutely.
I mean, trust is key.
Yes.
So tell me about preeminence and how do you master that?
Okay, well, preeminence should be, once you understand it, it is a philosophical strategy or a strategic philosophy that should be the governing foundation of everything you do, your belief system, your corporate culture, your marketing communication, your mindset with regard to your external clients, your mindset with regard to your internal clients, i.e. your team members and your advisors and vendors. And it's a very profound and a very remarkable process that elevates you and your company, product service, to a position in the mind's eye of the market. As I said earlier to Matt, the only viable source that the market can turn to transact business, to get advice, to get guidance, to get protection. It has you being seen as the most trusted advisor in the category for life, not just for a transaction. It has you being able to learn how to express to your market in words and visions that nobody has ever verbalized before, that you feel what they feel, you grasp where they're at, you put into analogies, you put into comparisons what you understand about their situation, factoring in your expertise that no one else has ever shared with them. Why your perspective is better for them, not for you. It requires you to always focus on what is in the best interest of the client. And I know theoretically everybody's a fiduciary and they do that, but they don't. You can't allow a client to buy less than they should just because it's a sale. You can't allow them to buy more than they should because it's piggy and it's not in their best interest. You can't allow them to buy less combinations, less often. And you also have to be there for more than just the transaction. One of my fascinations, I mean, I'm not wealthy, but I would call myself reasonably prosperous. You know, I own a special version of an Audi that's a sedan with the race car engine in it. I own a Maserati, my wife does, a Porsche, a supercharged Range Rover. What did I just get? A Bentley. And my insurance person doesn't call and visit, doesn't want to know about anything else in my life. They just sort of get the renewals. And if we have a change in car or driver, we tell them. And I think that is the kiss of death today, because the richness of the relationship and the value that is added in between the transactional time, I think, is something people really badly need to focus on and they need to learn. And the big problem is most people who try to do that, it's awkward, it's superficial, and it's inauthentic. And by that I mean, hey, it's Jay checking up on you, Paul. How are things going? I have a whole different belief system. I believe anytime you interact with anyone for any amount of time in your life, but in specific with clients, you got to make their lives better off by the transference of something that occurs. It can be knowledge, can be information, can be reassurance, can be sharing something about another aspect of life, because people don't realize that a client who purchases financial services is not merely a financial service purchaser. It normally is a man or a woman, a entrepreneur or a manager, a husband, a wife, a father, a mother, somebody with hopes and dreams and fears and stress and goals. And the more you understand the totality and the holistic side, this goes into this trust and authenticity, and the more you are connected. I mean, the most precious thing people don't value on their balance sheet is the compounding worth of relationship building between transactions, when it's not going to put money in the bank. Mm-hmm. And yet it does, because it puts conservation in the bank, it puts referrals in the bank, it puts additional revenue in the bank, it puts introductions in the bank.
And friendships even.
Yes. And
I mean, you can be friends with your clients.
Wonderful. I mean, one of the very interesting distinctions, and I'll go through the whole process and give people documentation on how to really utilize it and customize it. But one of the greatest elements of being preeminent is a shift in your focus from internal to external. And by that I mean most people in an industry, they fall in love with the industry. I love financial services. I love securities. I love annuities. I love whatever I love. Or they fall in love with their company. I love ABC Corp. We're great. We're the fastest growing. We're the best rated. Our stock is, when it's owned by the CalPERS or whatever. When in fact, if you want to be preeminent, you shift. You fall in love with the clients you serve. You don't just see them as a source of a renewal or a first-time sale. You see them as an individual or an organization that's being protected by you. You see their team as having future if you provide them with their, the 401 or whatever the heck you do. You see them as people, if you're doing medical type things, as knowing that they, their family, all their employees are assured that they won't get wiped out. I mean, you see them in the context of the impact your service rendered in their life and the lives of all the others that are beneficiaries are going to really reap. And it's a transformative approach. Very interesting. I can go on, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hear more about that at the super conference, because we're definitely going to drill
And you
into
said
that.
you had a take on it that was very cool.
Well, see, I think that, if you take the word eminence, it's superiority.
Yes.
And you take the word pre, so that comes before. So your superiority comes before you if you're good at it. It's your reputation, it precedes you.
Yes.
And that's
great.
very powerful.
It is. That's great. I'm going to borrow that. There's one other point I'd like to make, and it's just we did some work a couple of months ago on what was called building a power practice, and it was designed to create vehicles for everyone from accountants, attorneys, financial people that would have more asset value, more automatic preference in the eyes of the market. And we realized that preeminence is critical, but prominence is something different. That goes more to mavenship. Mm-hmm. And you have to have the integration of both if you want to really leverage up your results and your impact and thus your success.